the Hughes brothers seem to get along, and they're not afraid to mention that. This is a 2-year out issue. Do you see any similarities to Connor's window in Edmonton and Quinn's in Vancouver? Because he spoke highly of Adam Foote, and poof, there's your new head coach. And look, like there's already 2 in Jersey. I'm sure Patrick Alvin and the brass have tried to bring the other brothers in, but like if those 3 want to play together, that probably doesn't end well for Vancouver. Are we pretending this isn't happening? You've got 2 years to put it on the shelf and forget it doesn't exist. Like how's the fan base dealing with this?
I would say about a third of the fan base is doing that.
Okay.
Just enjoy it. You got 1 more year before we need to think about it and all that. I think there's, that's a sizable portion of the fan base, but I don't think it's the majority. I think the majority are at least mildly concerned about it. And then there's a certain section that is wildly scared about it, and rightly so. And much like Oiler fans, I'm sure we're with McDavid. I think there is the potential for a McDavid contract, actually, in the sense that if the Canucks show promise this year, and not just promise that they are dragged to the playoffs by the potential trophy winners that I just talked about it, but if they show that if Jonathan Lekramacky scores 22 and looks like he might be a star on the rise, if there's other notable performances where Quinn goes, they are building something here. It might take 3 years to see itself through here. So if I sign a 2-year extension in a year's time, maybe I let that play out. And then we're talking about almost a decade with the team at that point, actually a decade with the team. And then maybe I make my decision whether or not to play with my boys. And at that point, still very young. He would be, he'd be 30, 31 years old, still more than capable to unite with his brothers and be a force still. So, I think that's essentially McDavid's thinking is, okay, I'm going to let this core play out. And then I want to be able to make a decision after that. And could Quinn Hughes do that? I don't know if he'll do it at as steep a discount as Connor did, but I think that is the potential there. I think that people are hoping that that's what happens. I think that's what management's hoping is we're going to show you enough promise here that you want to see this thing through. I don't see a path to an 8-year contract extension from Quinn Hughes right now. I would be blown away if that happens.
Has that changed for the league, you think, with Connor's? I mean, then you go and see Connor in Winnipeg, and he signs 8. So it's everyone's individual, and I think that's probably just what it is everybody's individual choices. Just they're so in the driver's seat. The high end guys that they don't have to. You don't tell them what you're giving them.
Yeah, here's the check. You write the number and the term.
The guaranteed money is a bit of a lure, obviously, in this sport, right? And you just if you add years, just that number gets so grotesque. We haven't seen too many superstar injuries. I'll knock on wood on behalf of all of them. Completely decimated by injury, like the true superstars. There's been stories of guys maybe second tier and below that have had their careers tragically cut short because of X, Y, and Z. But for the most part, they get to play. So I don't know that many of them worry, hey, if I get injured on a 3-year deal, I'll regret not have signed the 8-year deal. They're getting so well paid on the 3-year. Like you think about the extra $25 million that Connor signs for. I mean, we're not mourning for his family at this point. They're going to be okay. So I think the money's gotten so big now for the top superstars that they might feel a little emboldened to be okay with shorter term deals. If they've got $100 million in the bank, again, I think they're going to feel pretty safe about that.
Austin Matthews is the guy that started it. I mean, he was the only guy we've seen go right out of entry level into like basically getting paid as a free agent and walk me right to UFA and then signs a 4-year and then like another 3 or 4. Like he's going to make like $100 million more than Connor, which sounds crazy. But if you just keep dipping back into the market and the cap keeps rising, I mean, financially, that's great, but I think Connor's saying, screw the finances. I want to see this through with this core.
The force going against that is, maybe this isn't the perfect example because I don't think he reaches superstardom, but a guy like Mason McTavish, who I think is going to be a really nice player.
Yeah.
Does he do himself a disservice signing a long-term deal coming out of his ELC? Like the guys signing long-term 8-year deals. Now it won't be 8 going forward. It'll be 7, but a 7-year deal, even after three full years of an ELC, you're a decade with the team. And, in that 10th year, you're probably very underpaid at that point. So like, that's the one mitigating factor is if you sign that big long-term deal at the end of your ELC, there is a chance for the team to make out like a bandit there.
Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.